Here's a wild fact, 90% of people with lower back pain don't actually have any major underlying issue. And if they were to get an MRI of their lower back, there wouldn't be anything major to show. The main cause of lower back pain is a lack of postural stability through the spine, as well as a lack of mobility through the hips and the lower thoracic. So today we're going to go through 4 exercises with easy and harder versions of each exercise to try and, number 1, mobilize the hips, get more movement, because the more movement we have in the hips, the less the lower back has to do. More movement through the lower thoracic, which is the spine before you get into the lower back. If that starts to move better, the back has to do a lot less. We also want to strengthen around the lower back. So along the spine, the transverse abdominis encapsulates it. This is a muscle that really helps to support the lower back. Easy version, hard version, follow along. If you like it, please comment and let me know that it has helped. If you hate it, also comment to tell me that you didn't like it. All right, so to start off with, guys, we're going to go into a 90-90 position. The easy version of this is keeping the hands on the ground with this chest, trying to lower the chest over that front knee. Once it gets here, we're going to slowly try and move that chest down the shin bone here as far as you can get. Slowly back, and then using those arms to push you up. So if you obviously feel pain in your hip, this might not be the exercise for you, but if this is just a stretch in the side of the hip, this is exactly what we're trying to hit. So slowly down, hold for 3 seconds. Then very slowly, as you breathe out, walk that chest and that sternum along the shin bone. 3-second hold at the end. Slowly coming back from there, sternum back on the knee, and then make sure we're using those hands to push up. Now, if you're happy with this, we're going to go through and do 2 lots of 8 with these ones here, making sure that we use that out breath to try and let the muscles in the side of the bum relax. As we start to rotate here, this chest should start to get a little further down the shin bone, which means we're creating more mobility in the side of the hip. Now, once you've done your 2 lots of your 8 on one side, we'll go into the other. And the same thing here. As you go down, if you start to feel any of your lower back pain on either side as well, we want to go to the barrier of that pain, but not through it. So if you start to feel the pain, it means you've dropped just a little too much. But we're letting that chest sink over the knee. Same thing on the other side, 2 lots of 8 repetitions. Slowly feeding, using those arms as levers, the chest along the shin bone, and back from there. So pretty simple with that one. 2 lots of 8, that's the easy version. Now, if you're doing that and you're like, oh yeah, okay, this is testing my hips, I'm happy with that, stay there, do your 2 lots of 8, and then we'll move on to the next one. If you want to increase this one just a little bit and get a little bit more added strength into it, what we're going to do here, same position, lock our thumbs into our armpits here, hinge with the hips. As we hinge, keeping very strong, so cylindrical through the core, making sure everything's engaged. Get as low as we can with this chest, making sure there's nothing starting to pull in the lower back. Hinge over, come up, lift. So using those muscles that we were just stretching, lift, drive the hips forward, slowly down, rotate the torso again. So that sternum's going straight over that front knee, slowly down, controlling it all the way down. So with these ones here, because they're a little quicker, we're going to do 2 lots of 10. If this is a little beyond your capabilities, we'll stick with the first one for approximately 4 to 6 weeks. So 2 lots of 10 on both sides, making sure as we go into each side, you keep it as controlled as possible. And you often find that one side, with this lift, you're going to be like, ooh, I really struggle to get off the ground. Or the down phase is what we want to keep as slow as possible. You might struggle and be kind of wanting to drop to the ground really quickly. Over these first 4 weeks, we want to slow that down as much as possible. So that is exercise number 1, and that is to improve that hip mobility, to take pressure out of the lower back when it comes to performing tasks around the house. All right, so number 2, we have once again 2 options. We're gonna start with the easy option and then progress into the hard one. You're gonna probably look at this one and be like, why on earth are we doing a glute exercise for the lower back? And the reason for this is if we start to get more strength through the glutes, a lot of the time posturally, it will give the lower back a little bit more room. All right, so I'm gonna stand up here and show you. So as a lot of us will tilt forward with the pelvis, we're quad dominant. As we engage the glutes and pull them down, this creates structural stability for the lower back, and by pulling the glutes down, it also gives the lower back a little bit more room. So if you're someone, and this is very common in a lot of athletic people or people who do a lot of activity in sports, your pelvis might tilt forward and you might feel jammy, especially if you go back into extension. So what we're trying to do here is, number 1, activate the glutes, but also strengthen the glutes and posturally improve the pelvis so your lower back has less demand on it. Alrighty, so for the first one, we're keeping both feet on the ground, arms beside. Now, this isn't a bridge. So a lot of people who come into my clinic here want to come all the way up. All we're doing with the lift here is barely lifting. So keeping your bum within 1 centimeter of the ground. And on the video right now, it's gonna look like I'm still laying on the ground, I'm not even lifting. My weight is pressing into the heels, and then we're trying to perform a glute tuck, which is that motion there. So tucking that tailbone down along the ground. We're gonna hold that tuck, making sure there's no lower back pain for 5 seconds, keeping the weight in the heels, making sure we don't lift that lower back off the ground too much. And then after the 5 seconds, untuck, rest the hips back on the ground for 2 to 3 seconds, and then straight back up. So with that lift, keeping it 1 centimeter, you're just taking a little bit of pressure out of that tailbone and then sliding it along the ground. So this is number 1. If you can do this, and this should be quite easy for you, we're gonna try and do 2 lots of 12 reps. If you wanna challenge yourself a little bit more and try and add this to an activation routine before you perform sports or any other tasks, we're gonna go single leg with these, but we start with both. So let's go through it now. So the same thing for the harder version. Centimeter lift, tuck the glutes, hold that tuck. Now here, we're gonna lift one leg, literally same thing, a centimeter off the ground, and this creates a lot of instability. You've got to try and maintain the tuck. So for me, it's on this left side right now. Maintain that tuck for 5 seconds. As you slowly step into the other side, try and keep that tuck going down without lifting the hips too high. After 5 seconds here, both feet hit the ground, slowly back down with the tailbone into the ground. So let's go through it again. So number 1, lifting a centimeter off the ground. Number 2, tucking that tailbone in and as far down as possible to try and get as much glute contraction. Number 3, lifting one heel off the ground, but not lifting it too high, keeping it within 1 centimeter of the ground, making sure that the other hip stays tucked, that glute stays nice and tucked. After 5 seconds here, slowly, very slowly, walking to the other side. As you put the weight into the other side, we want to make sure the hips don't rotate. Holding in the other side for 5 seconds. And then slowly touching down with the other, dropping a little 3-second rest between. So with the single legs, we can try and do 2 lots of 6 on each side. With both legs, 2 lots of 10. Okay guys, so for the next one, we talked about before trying to create more mobility through the thoracic spine, and that's the middle part of our back here before we hit the lower back. And a lot of the time, if this spine doesn't move, the lower back has to make up for that lack of movement. And over time, it creates way too much demand on that lower back, therefore leading to muscles getting tight around it, sometimes going into spasm, and then over time, it can actually lead to degeneration. So this is something we want to make sure this mid back stays very mobile and very also strong around it. So the first one, once again, is the easy part of this exercise. So from here, we're going to start on all fours. We're going to place our hand around the back of the head. From here, all we're doing is feeding that elbow down to the opposite wrist. From here, keeping the arm we're supported on, keeping it nice and straight, we're going to slowly open up this chest and feed that elbow as far up as possible. As we get to the top here, try and focus on both chests here, getting puffed out as much as possible. Now, there shouldn't be any pain in your lower back. If you do feel pain, you may have to decrease the amount of rotation you get, because if you have come out of a spasm with the lower back, it generally doesn't like too much rotation. So with this one, if you start to feel your lower back here, just stop there, go to the barrier, but over the next few days or weeks, that barrier should slowly start to improve. So remember, no pain, work until just before that pain, but not through it. So once again, elbow down to the wrist, slowly feeding the arm up, 5-second hold at the top, deep breath in. As you breathe out, slowly feeding the arm back down. Remember, at the top, we're really focusing on trying to puff that chest. Get as much rotation, feed that elbow as high as you possibly can, keeping this arm straight. And as you breathe out, slowly dropping back down. So I'll give you a little demonstration on this other side so you can kind of see what's going on here. Also, we don't want to go too much pressure on the back of the neck. If you have had previous neck injuries, too much weight on the back of the head may start to irritate the neck after a while. So other side, elbow down to the opposite wrist, puff the chest, open up as much as possible. And then after the breath in, breathing out, dropping back down. So 2 lots of 10 there. If that's very easy for you and you want to progress to the next one, we're going to go in to a prone position, straight legs. We're going to step 1 foot through on the outside of the hands here. From here, it's a similar motion. We're going to keep the other arm straight. We're going to feed the arm through to begin with, slowly rotate around, and the same thing. Try and puff the chest here, open up the chest, deep breath in, and then as we breathe out, slowly feeding the arm back down. So repeat this, and then 2 lots of 10 with this as well on both sides. So make sure as we do this, we want to keep our weight centered through this front foot. We don't want to be sort of pushing into the hands or sinking into the back foot. Trying to keep your whole body weight through this front foot, which almost keeps his torso anchored a little better. So we're getting more thoracic mobility. So 2 lots of 10. I'm going to demonstrate one on the other side just so you can see. So all the weight through this leg here, feed the arm through, keep it elongated, a long spine as we rotate around, puff the chest, trying to look to where we're rotating that hand. And then as we breathe out, slowly dropping back down and going from there. If there is any pain with this one or it's a little too much to hold yourself in that position, just jump back into the easy version. Do the easy version for once again 4 to 6 weeks until you start to improve, and then you can jump up. All right guys, we have one more exercise. It's a good one. It requires a fitness ball though. Okay guys, so if you don't have a fitness ball, we are going to simply be laying on the ground here. Remember, with our core activation, there's 3 things I want you to focus on. So it's going to be lock the lower ribs down, like you're getting a punch to the gut, you're almost flinching. Pulling that navel down towards your spine. So as you breathe in, try and lock it down, same as you breathe out. And then as you breathe out, we want to try and lock that lower back into the ground. So lower ribs down, navel in, flatten lower back. 3 things. All right, so without the ball, all we're going to be doing here is slowly dropping the opposite arm to opposite leg out. And holding for 5 seconds, slowly going up. Now, a lot of patients I get in, will often do this and jump straight in the deep end. They'll drop all the way out and straight away, their back arches off the ground. So if that's you, we just want to go even a quarter of the way down to start off with here, and make sure this is the main thing. We want to keep everything locked here. As soon as you unlock, it's defeating the purpose of the exercise. So if we're like, all right, I can go a little further out, go like an inch inch at a time, but don't go charging all the way out to start off with. Keep everything locked, 5-second hold, slowly coming up. And the other thing is, if you start to feel like that core switching off, feet down, have a little rest. You can give yourself 10 seconds. It's better to do this one perfectly than to kind of rush it and feel like half the reps were your back was arching and your core was switched off. So without the fitness ball, this is simply what we're doing. We're going to go through 2 lots of 10 reps of these ones here. With the fitness ball, this makes it a little harder. We can get a push and you're going to start to burn a lot more through that transverse abdominis, which is a muscle that supports the lower back. So from here, 90 degrees in the knees, 90 degrees in the legs, in the hips, sorry. Hands on top of the ball. We're going to switch that core on first. So the same activation pattern, lower ribs down, navel in, flatten lower back. From here, start by pushing lightly down, resisting with the knees. Once we've got everything switched on here, we're going to drop literally a foot with both. So a foot out with the opposite arm to opposite leg, but keep pushing with this hand into the ball. Same thing, 5 seconds. You can see I'm already shaky with this one. This is a lot harder than the previous one. Slowly coming in, changing sides. Now pushing down with this left arm on the ball, slowly going out a foot or 2 with the arm and the leg, making sure everything stays locked through the core. And coming up from here, if you're feeling like that core switching off, ball down, feet on the ground, have a little rest, 5 seconds between reps, then back up, same thing again, push down, activate the core, make sure those 3 little core activation patterns are all firing, slowly out a foot or 2, 5-second hold, making sure that lower back doesn't lift, and then slowly changing, making sure that lower back doesn't lift. 2 and 1, hands on the ball, can come down, little 3-second rest again. So with these ones, 2 lots of 10 reps as well, and the same as the others. If you feel that the back starts to lift after like 2 or 3 reps here, maybe you're better to do the easy version of this first and then add the ball in. Okay guys, so I really hope you enjoyed today. Make sure you write in the comment section if you've enjoyed this, if you want to see any other videos in other areas, and enjoy your week guys. I hope this has made a difference for you.